everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. And for the Grue Rume Show today, we got a very great guest. He is an actor, writer, and a musician. And I'm talking about Tyler James White, and we're going to talk about his acting and his music, and the short film that he wrote as well. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Room. And my interview with Tyler will be coming up very shortly. This is my Grue Room, and welcome to my nightmare. Okay, thank you for taking time out of your night, and thanks for being a guest on the Grue Room.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course, buddy, of course. First of all, I have to say, I love your guitars in the back. Like, that's really awesome.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. I just got this one right here, actually. So
Nice.
showing it off a little bit.
Sweet. So they're both electric, right?
Yeah. I got the Gibson SG right here. And then I got the J right here, the Fender Jazz bass. So got the guitar and the bass. Got a couple other ones too, but these are the ones I've been using lately.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, because I was looking on your page, and I saw, like, not only do you act and write, but you also play music and sing too, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I actually started with music.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah. I started playing in bands when I was like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old. Started playing guitar when I was like 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my main thing before I kind of like moved out to LA and like really started focusing and hitting it hard on acting. But yeah, so music has always been a big part of my life.
Oh, wow. Okay, so like you started out with this first MB before going into the world of acting.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
That's
Yeah, I was like,
really awesome.
yeah, man, I was like the band dude growing up. So yeah, just over time, just like eventually progressed into acting. But no, man, that's what I grew up with. So bounced around in a couple different bands. Was in a punk band for about 4 years.
Oh, really?
Throughout the end of like high school into college. Did some like small tours and stuff with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a huge part of my life. It was like kind of my main thing, like my only thing for a long time. And then found my way into what I'm doing now. So,
Yeah.
and it's funny because like I actually put off music for a while. Like when I moved here, I was so like focused on just like acting and the craft and working on all that stuff. And then recently, as of like honestly a few months ago, I like really got back into the music and started writing heavy and working on my own stuff. Because I never really did like solo stuff before. I was
Gotcha.
always in bands. And so it's been an interesting process recently, like one getting back into it after all this time, but also like writing without like a band to kind of like work off of.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's been cool. It's been cool.
Oh, wow. So like you plan on making like a, a EP or an album?
Yeah, I mean, so like I kind of went into it without like any like expectations, like
Mhm.
in the bands, it was always like, well, we're gonna like do an EP or we're gonna like
Yeah.
write this and then like maybe do like a small tour or like, music video, whatever. And with this, like since I don't know, I was just doing it for fun. Like I wasn't like I didn't
Okay.
have necessarily like a career goal with it.
Yeah.
Um I just kept writing. I was just like whatever comes out is gonna come out and then we'll see, if it's any good, if I like it, then maybe I'll put it out. And I ended up writing like 20 something songs,
Oh, damn.
demoed out like 15. And then out of those 15, I've been like passing it around to some like close music friends and like
Yeah.
getting their opinions on it. And right now I'm recording a few. So I don't have anything like official to announce yet of like single or EP, but there is some stuff coming out and hopefully very soon.
Oh, man, that's really awesome. I definitely would keep my eye out for that, because I definitely would love to hear it, listen to it.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
it's definitely like it's cool, I guess, like writing for myself, because by not having that expectation, I can kind of like, I don't have to fit into a certain genre, you know? Like
Yeah,
when I was
exactly.
in like my punk band, it was like, well, we gotta like write punk songs, else everyone's gonna think we're whack, you know? Like we had like one acoustic song, but like that was it. We're like, all right, we gotta write like 6 more heavy songs
Yeah, yeah.
to like make up for this like acoustic song. Um, but with this new stuff, I was just like, whatever felt right, I just like went with, you know? So like there's some super like, I don't know, R&B influenced songs. There's some songs
Mhm.
that are like very like early 2000s, like new metal kind of like vibe, and then some songs that are more like punk style. So it's a cool mix, man. So I'm excited to hopefully get it out, and hopefully, you know, you listen and you'll enjoy
Yeah,
it.
definitely. Yeah, man, that's awesome. I would definitely
Cool.
love to hear it, and I love punk songs too. So like
Nice, nice.
your old band, that was probably fun to listen to.
Yeah, man, it was just like high energy stuff. So it was definitely like a fun time, and the shows that we had were just were super fun.
Sweet, sweet, nice. So who were some music artists that you were looking up to that
Mm,
inspired you to want to do punk back then, and now making your own music?
yeah, I mean, so back then, like I got super into, I mean, the first band that kind of was like my gateway, I guess, into like punk was Blink 182.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You know, of
yeah.
course,
Okay.
you know, I think I got their uh self-titled album in like 5th grade.
Nice.
Um and I just remember like the day I got that, I got like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on PlayStation,
Yeah.
PlayStation 2, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. And I remember just like playing that and then listening to Blink 182 on the headphones. And there was just something about that vibe of just like the skateboarding with the music. I was just
Mhm.
like, this is rad. Um, and then also just like seeing the dudes that were in these bands, you know, because like
Yeah.
from Blink 182, I got into like Newfound Glory and like Yellow Card and Taking Back Sunday. And like I was looking at the dudes in those bands and I was like, oh, they just look like skater kids like me. So like this is rad. Um, and I just really dug the vibe. And then like going to the shows and seeing the shows and just like the chaos of it all, you know, like the mosh pits
Yes,
and the stage
definitely,
diving, and
definitely.
like the lead singer like wouldn't even sing. He just like would point the mic out and everyone else would sing. I was just like, man, like this energy is like insane. Um, and so like I was like, you know, I still was in these like little bands or whatever,
Mhm.
being like 12, 13 years old. Um, but I wasn't writing in that style or anything. I was just like writing whatever. And so then like seeing that and being exposed to that had like a huge impact on me. I just wanted to be a part of it. Um, and just seeing how like, I don't know, young and motivated everyone was, you know,
Yeah.
like they all were like 16 to 21 and like on the road. Like I remember seeing like tour videos on YouTube, and it was just like they were just screwing around on the road with their friends. And I'm like, this seems like this is the dream right here.
Well, yeah,
Um,
yeah, of course.
yeah, so like so that became the goal, you know, as soon as I got exposed to that. And then on top of it, the songs just like, I don't know, really resonated for me being like an angsty, you know, young boy. You know, all the songs are about like girlfriends and
Yeah.
best friends and wanting to get out of your hometown. So like I got wrapped up in it for like that period in my life, you know. So
Well,
yeah.
well, well. Plus, probably at that age too, like you're looking forward to going on a tour bus and just
Mhm.
like or van, whatever you were driving,
Yeah.
and just going out there and driving to different clubs, different bars, and playing gigs and having
Mhm.
freedom. Like, you're on your own, you're having freedom, you're having
Yeah.
fun, you're getting
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
drunk
man.
and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I mean, it was like it was the adventure of it all, you know. That was like the thing that had a big, you know, the big appeal to me was seeing that. And then on top of it, it was like, you know, the cause of that is the music. So it's like
yeah.
not only are you getting to have these like insane experiences, but like you're playing songs at the same time, and you're making music and you're like connecting with fans and like,
Mhm.
you know, you get to really have these like cool connections with kids who are like listen to your songs. And because the songs get very like personal and vulnerable, you know, people would share these experiences. And it felt really good, you know, that you would have like these impacts on people's lives to be like, yeah, man, like I listened to your song and I was going through a really tough time, and that song like helped me get through like that tough time. And so it was, you know, it's like indescribable, the experience of it all. But yeah, man, I was really grateful for like for that time.
Sweet, sweet. And you were talking about skateboarding too. Did you ever do that? Like you were skateboarding
I
too?
you know, I definitely was like more so making the music for the skaters.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So yeah, I remember like a bunch of my buddies and I, we around that time, like fifth grade, I remember that was when like I was starting to shifting into listening to that music and getting into like that culture. And I got a skateboard, and like, you know, you start out just kind of like skating in the driveway or whatever, trying to
Yeah,
like ollie, and that was super hard. But then, you know, my friends would start going to the skate park, and my mom was just like, I'm not letting you go to the skate park. Like, you're too young. I know what goes on there. She just had all these like false notions of like what a skate park was, you know? Um, and so like when everyone started going to the skate park and getting really good, I just was like still skating in my driveway with my helmet on.
oh, that
Um,
sucks.
and so I kind of just like I tried a few different times to like really get into it.
Hmm.
But you really gotta like stick to it, and be resilient to like get through those first like, I don't know, couple months or whatever before you start to really, I guess, like hit your stride.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and I just like I could never do it. I was like way too focused on the music and other things to like, you know, set aside the time to get really good at it. But I have an insane appreciation for it. And I definitely was like around that culture constantly. But yeah, I
Sweet.
never got I never got good at skateboarding. Um, I have some skateboards, but you know, I'm such a poser with it, man. Like,
Okay. And from doing music and skateboarding and having fun with all that stuff, like what made you decide to want to get involved with the world of acting?
yeah, man. I mean, you know, it's a bit, you know, it's a little long story. But there were just like there were a bunch of moments throughout my life that kind of just like all pointed towards that, and I never was super cognizant of it, or I never really wanted
Mhm.
like to admit to myself, because for a long time, I was so focused on the music thing, and I was so like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
that I never like flirted with any other ideas of like what I could be doing with my life. You know, I was just like, this is what's laid out for me. You know, I've always been the band guy. That's like what everyone kind
Mhm.
of sees me at school. I've always been in bands. I've always been the dude that's putting out music. So that's like what I'm supposed to be doing. But you know, like throughout my life, there were just a bunch of different telltale signs. You know, I would always listen to music and imagine these different like stories and like worlds from listening to the music. um, I also was like, I was super into video games when I was younger, but
Oh,
like
nice.
my favorite part was like games where I would get to like create my own character.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like,
definitely.
yeah, so like I'd make them like look like me and try to like envision myself in these worlds. And then on top of all of that, like I would like sketch out characters and stuff,
Oh,
and
right.
like come up with these stories and whatnot. And I never like thought too much on that because I was so like focused on the music thing, but it always stuck with me. Like I was always like imagining like little, you know, short films or stories or
Yeah.
just like characters. Even when like my bands would like put out music, you know, we were a punk band, so you're supposed to like not really care about like how you present yourself on stage. And I was always thinking about like, all right, like what's the character that I'm gonna like put on, you know? Like we would put out like a set of songs. I was like, all right, like I'm gonna dress like super preppy because it's like the
Nice.
opposite. I'm gonna like get this like comb over haircut. I'm gonna wear like Abercrombie and Fitch and like go out on stage like that. Um, so it was always like in my mind, that I kind of wanted to do it. I never admitted it out loud really to anyone. And I did some like drama classes and stuff and some
Oh, okay.
little like fun plays when I was younger, but I never like spoke on it. I never was like, hey mom, dad, like I really thought I want to be an actor. And then as the band was kind of like progressing and I was getting a little older and I was in college, I started to have like, I don't know, deeper thoughts about like, what should I be doing with my life? Like, is this really what I should be doing, this music thing? And I was presented with like the opportunity to take some extra classes at the university I was going to.
Okay.
Because I had this like academic scholarship. And in order to get like the full extent of the scholarship, I had to take like 6 extra classes or something. And so I was like, you know what, let me do theater, let me do acting for those extra classes and see like if these like feelings that have always been in my head, in my gut, like if they're for real, like is this something that I really see myself doing and I could really like take to, or is it whatever? And I'll just like, I don't know, keep doing the music thing. And from the first day, like as soon as I started learning the craft, I was just like, oh my God, like this is like everything that like I've loved about like expression and like music and all these other things. Like I get to do it here almost like unhinged, by acting. And from that day on, I was just like, this is what I gotta be doing. Like I gotta, get to LA and really get to pursue it. So yeah, like that's kind of how I transitioned from music to really just focusing on acting.
Oh, wow. All right. And that is the place to go at when you want to do films and TV and
Yeah, man. I mean, like, so, I did it for a couple years to save money before I moved here, in Detroit. That's where I'm from.
oh, okay.
And I love Michigan. I love Detroit, but there's not a ton of not a ton of opportunities for like actors when it comes to like TV and film. It's just
Yeah.
like basically just like commercials, and I did a few of those, but if you really want to like go after it, you kind of got to be like in New York or LA. And so for me, I kind of knew in my heart that this is where I had to be.
Okay. Well, one of the songs I love is the Kiss song from your hometown.
Yeah, Detroit Rock City.
Detroit Rock City. I love that song. Oh my God.
A lot of good Detroit songs, man. A lot of good Detroit bands.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, man. It's definitely like you wear it as a badge of honor, man, coming from like Metro Detroit. I'm
Nice.
rocking the Detroit shirt right now.
Oh, sweet. Okay. I didn't even notice that.
It's like an old like junior hockey team.
Okay.
But yeah, man, no, it's cool. Like it's cool coming from there. It's cool like going back there and visiting family and stuff. Yeah, I love it, man. There's a certain like I don't know, just like DNA to coming from Detroit. Like you just have like this like work ethic, like that
Yeah.
Motor City,
Yeah.
like drive work ethic, Detroit bad boys sort of thing. Like it's in the culture to
Nice.
just kind of like, bust your ass. So it's like you're just brought up with it. So I don't know, man. I got nothing but love for that town, man.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I live in Philly and I was born and
Yeah,
raised in Philly.
yeah,
So.
yeah. Philly, man. I love Philly, man.
Sweet.
Yeah, we used to. There's a band from Philly that we used to play with a lot, and now they're doing some big things. This band Grayscale. They're a
Oh,
punk
okay.
band from Philly.
Oh,
Super cool, man. So like I got to
oh,
spend a lot of time in Philadelphia, just like doing some small shows with them early on.
nice.
So yeah, man, like it's a really cool city.
Hey, yeah, it's home of the cheesesteaks.
The cheesesteaks, yeah, man. Yeah, what are the two ones, man? It's Geno's and there's the other one,
and
right?
Pat's.
And Pat's. Are you a Geno's or a Pat's guy?
Um, I'm gonna have to say Pat's because my cousin is the manager there.
Okay, all right, yeah. That'd be bad news if you pick Geno's.
I know exactly. She, she'll probably see this and be like, "Oh, he didn't say Pats. I'm not giving him free cheese
Yeah,
steaks anymore."
you lose your hookup, man.
Yeah,
Can't do that.
exactly. So, what was like your very first role when you got involved with acting?
Oof. I mean, technically, my first role was when I was like 4 years old
Oh, okay.
at Disney World. They do those like dinner and a show things, you know,
Yes, yes.
and it was like what was it? It was like a Wild Western thing. Um, anyways, they like pick a couple people from the audience to like come up on stage, and for whatever reason, they came up, picked me. I got to play the sheriff. Probably because I had these like big glasses. They thought it was
Nice,
cute or something.
nice.
So technically, that's my first my
Okay.
first acting role. Yeah.
And,
Maybe that could be where it all started, you know.
it
Um,
probably was. That's probably
you
when you
know,
first got bitten by that bug, right?
yeah, I got the early taste of it. But yeah, man, I mean, like, and then, you know, I did some like short films and stuff early on. Um, some like student films back in Detroit
Yeah.
before I came out here. Um, but yeah, no, I look back at that now, and yeah, man. I mean, I've always loved performing, and I think it might have started that day, you know.
I I th- I think so too. That's probably where it all started.
Yeah.
um, I saw you actually wrote a short film too. Like
Mhm.
you wrote and starred in a short film by a product.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to write that?
Um, you know, a few things, man. Like, one, I mean, it all started because I was just getting kind of complacent with, you know, some of the roles that I was doing and going out for. I kind of wanted to do something a little different. I also really wanted to get back to like doing my own projects, you know, like
Okay.
being in the bands and stuff. You know, we didn't wait for a label or whoever to like
Well,
give us
yeah.
permission to put stuff out. We just put stuff out. And so I had been developing some stuff, some like I had some feature film scripts, some like series scripts, and was like pitching those. And I was just like, you know, I'm sick of like waiting around and just waiting
Mhm.
for someone to be like, okay, like now you can go do your thing. I was like, I'm gonna do something like so. Last year I set out. I was like, by the end of the year, I'm gonna write and we're gonna film a short film. So that's kind of where the drive for it started. But the story itself, I'm a big sci-fi guy,
Nice, nice.
um, so I definitely wanted to do something science fiction. And so I wrote few different ideas, a few different scripts, and this was the one that seemed to get like the best response. And so, you know, really started to put the work in and develop it. And so we're in post production right now, working on the edit for it. So I'm excited for it to get all wrapped up and everything. But it was super fun filming it, man. Because it's about, you know, artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
but kind of done in a little different way. It kind of explores, you know, how AI might, you know, interpret like the afterlife and some like spirituality and some stuff like
Oh,
that. So
wow. Okay.
it's a little different spin on the AI, you know, thing that we've all seen before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, man, it was super fun. It was super fun, like doing the research for it and trying to get a little bit of the science right, you know.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, also just filming it, like we had just a really great crew. We had a really good time putting it all together. I got to like bleach my hair and play this android, so that was super cool. I got to play something like really different than what I usually do. So yeah, it was a ton of fun, man. I'm excited to get it done, and I'm excited to do some more too, you know. Like getting to produce for the first time, I was like,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. You know, because being on sets and stuff, you see things that you really like on a set, and you also see things that like you're like, what, it could be done a lot different, man. Like everyone's like miserable. Like, come on, man, like play some music or whatever. Um, and so like getting to produce, I tried to like, you know, implement all those things that I would take mental notes of on set and try to create like a really cool and like fun environment for everyone. And we all kind of like stayed on location at this cabin that we filmed at. So it kind of had this like summer camp vibe to it,
Oh
like,
man, that sounds nice.
like filming all day, this like cool sci-fi thing, and then just
Yeah,
hanging out at night, like cooking food and like playing cards and
nice.
and listening to music. I tried to like curate playlists that would like go with the vibe of the story, because
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
because on a set, like the actors get to be really like immersed in everything, right? Like you're playing the character, you're in the thing. But for
Exactly.
like everyone else, man, like I've helped out working crew for some friend stuff. Sometimes you're just working crew, and you can get kind of like disengaged and not as much. And so I wanted to try to create like an immersive environment for everyone with the resources that I had, because it's super fun, man. It's like when you go to like Universal or Disneyland or something, and you're like, you feel like you're in Harry Potter world. You're like, oh, I feel like I'm
Yes.
actually in the movie. Um, and so when you do like, if you're doing a sci-fi project, man, I wanted to try to create that for everyone. I want like everyone to feel like they're in the movie. And so it was super fun, man. And I hope to continue that and hopefully like, you know, in the future ones, I get to do even more with it to create that environment for everyone.
Well, it definitely sounded like you created a nice in environment for them. I mean, you
Thanks,
had
man.
a cabin, and were were you the one doing were you the one that cooked too, or
um no, I had a couple different people help me produce it, and my manager actually chefed one of the
okay,
nights.
okay,
You
there you
know, we
go.
uh
There you go.
we had some tacos. What else? We had some like noodle dish.
Nice, man.
And then we tried to order some takeout stuff, but we were like in this secluded part of like the mountains, and like everything closed. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
like we were trying to get lunch one day, and we were like putting in an order for Subway, right? Like there was like one Subway, it was like 15 minutes away. And and one of the other producers, Griffin, he was like going to pick up the Subway and put in the
yeah.
order for like, 16 people. Um and like an hour and a half goes by, and we're like, where's Griffin, man? Like what's going on?
Oh my god.
And we were eventually able to get a hold of him. He's like, yeah, I've went to like 3 different Subways. Like they don't have enough stuff in stock. Like, I don't know what to do. And so like eventually we found some like sandwich joint, and
Yeah.
we were able to get lunch for everybody. But yeah, it was a cool area, but it was definitely like a secluded area. There was like 3 different places to get food, and they all closed at like 6 o'clock.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah, man. Stuff you gotta deal with.
Yes, exactly. Um, I s- I saw you were part of two thriller films, and
Mhm.
they both have the word wrong in them. The wrong cheerleader, and the
Mhm.
wrong real estate person agent. And
Yeah, the wrong real estate agent. Yeah.
can you tell me about like both the films you were part of? Because I think David was the one that made both films, right?
Yeah. David Dakota directed both, and it was a series that was going on the Lifetime channel with Vivica Fox producing.
Nice.
And yeah, both were like super fun experiences, and getting to work with Vivica was incredible. She was super nice. Um, yeah, like the first one I had a small part in, the wrong cheerleader, and I booked that like pretty shortly after moving to LA.
Oh, okay.
um, and it was fun. It was like a quick little thing,
Yeah.
like a confrontational scene, so it was like fun to get to do that and just kind of like be intimidating and get into a little like fight in the locker room with your teammates or whatever.
Nice.
um
Mm.
but it was a cool experience to like be on that set. And everyone like works really, you got to be on it. It's like one take, we're moving on, let's go, let's go, let's go,
Oh,
let's go.
really?
Yeah, so it was like definitely a good lesson in like being prepared to do your thing, because it's like you're not going to get 3 4 takes to like try to get it to how you like it.
Oh,
um and so I got to learn from that so when I went into the wrong real estate agent and I had a much larger role in that, I was able to kind of like bring that with me and that knowledge. And they're just really fun, man. Like, you know, being on the Lifetime channel, like you can take some pretty big swings. So you can really just kind of like open up with the character and
Yeah.
and have a lot of fun with it. And like I said, man, like working with Vivica, she's like, you know, as pro as you can get.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. She's been doing this for a while now.
Yeah, man. Like I grew up watching like Independence Day and
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Kill Bill and stuff, and
yeah.
so like, you know, when I did the first one, I didn't have any scenes with her. Like we met briefly on set,
Oh, okay.
and so then when I went into the wrong real estate agent, and you know, like most of my scenes were with her.
Oh,
I
wow,
thought
that's
I was gonna have
awesome.
to like reintroduce myself, you know, because I was like, you know, like we barely met. I was like, I just moved to LA. Didn't care who I was, and
Yeah,
you don't know how like people may be with egos and stuff. And she
yeah,
was like,
exactly.
I showed up to set fully prepared to be like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Tyler. Like, so, you know, it's so great to work with you. And she just runs up and she's like, Tyler, like gives me this big hug. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're so nice. And
Wow.
she just like, she would hang out, you know, in between takes with like me and my co-star Alea, and just kind of like give us like career advice and things like that. And was just like super down to earth. So that was like really refreshing to kind of see that. And
Yeah,
then when we got to like do the scenes, it was just like it was great getting to like work off of her and learn from her. So I was super grateful to kind of have those experiences early on, you know, moving here to LA, and get to have like fun with that. And like I said, work in that environment where everything's just like moving at a
mhm.
really fast pace.
Damn. Okay, that's really cool. I love hearing that. I mean,
Yeah.
she's definitely top notch, and it's really nice to hear. Like, you know, like she's real chill and down to earth.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been really refreshing. Like the more people I've gotten to like meet and work with, like how down to earth and friendly like most people
Mhm.
are. You know, it's really nice to see, because like coming from the Midwest, like that's my thing. I'm like overly polite, you know.
Yes, yes.
But you know, you get like a sense that people are going to have egos and certain things, and maybe there is some truth to that. Um, but you know, in my experience, it's like been the opposite. Like the more successful someone has been, like the more like grounded and down to earth they've been.
Okay, okay. And tell me about playing Thomas in Villains of Valley View.
Yeah, Tomas.
Oh,
Um,
it's Tomas. I thought it was Tom. I'm
Tomas.
so
Yeah,
sorry.
no, it's all good. It's all good. Um, so yeah. I don't know how much I can say yet, just because he hasn't been introduced yet into the
Mhm.
series. But working on that show was once again like a really fun, like refreshing experience getting to go into that. And another thing of like, you know, it's a Disney Channel show, and I
Yeah.
grew up like a Disney Channel kid.
Oh
Like
yeah, of
I watched
course.
Disney Channel like religiously as a
Yes,
kid,
definitely.
and
Definitely.
so, you know, getting to work on that was like, you know, a dream come true. Getting to be on that set. Um, and the episode that I did, Danielle Fishel directed, who played Topanga on Boy
Oh
Meets
my
World.
God, I love her.
Me too, man. Like my first childhood crush. So like
Yes,
I remember
yes, definitely.
I got the call sheet, and I was like, I was already stoked to be, you know, getting to play on that show. And then I'm looking at like the director, and I'm like, oh my God, like Topanga's gonna be directing it. Like, um, and so like I don't usually get starstruck, but like it was so hard not to just be like, whatever you say, Topanga, like whatever you say. Um, but yeah, man, it was super fun. Like the cast of that show, the crew, everyone on that's just like super friendly. It was just like a big like hangout, you know, the entire time I was working on that show.
Oh wow.
It was like a super inviting environment, and yeah, man, it was cool, because like once again, like going into it, you're like, I don't know, like Disney Channel, you hear some things,
Mhm.
maybe there's some like whatever. and it was the opposite, man. Everyone was very inviting, great like environment to work in, and yeah, man, it was a great time. So I'm excited for the episode to come out. I don't know exactly when yet,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was a fun character. So
Oh, sweet.
yeah, I wish I could say more, but you know, I don't know what I'm allowed to yet.
Well, yeah, of course.
But
Of course. Yeah, I probably would have got thrown off the set. I'll be like, oh my God, Topanga, it's Boy
I kept
Meets
my
World.
cool. Yeah, man, I kept my cool till the last day. The last day I was like, you know what? I gotta come clean. I was a huge fan. I grew up watching those reruns religiously. And she was like, "Oh my God, they're so sweet. Like, want to get a photo together?" I'm like, "Of course I do."
Yes, of course.
So yeah, it was cool, man. Like, I definitely had to let her know though. It's like
Oh, yeah.
that was like the first show I remember like being super into when I was a kid. I remember like Corey and Sean had like the secret handshake,
Yes.
and
Yes.
me and my best friend at the time, Anthony, like we like imitated the secret handshake as like
Oh,
our secret
really?
handshake. Like that's how like into the show we were.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, man. I remember like I had like all the DVDs. I had like the
Yeah.
box
Yeah.
set of like all the DVDs for that show. So I was a big Boy Meets World fan. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Same.
man.
I love that show.
Yeah, dude. It was great, man. And so like getting to work on villains was like two dreams coming true. It was like
Oh, yeah.
getting to be on Disney Channel, getting to work with Daniel Fishel. I was like, you know, 5-year-old me would just be like so happy right now. Like knowing I'm getting to like do this.
Wow. Damn. Okay. All right. And what do you like doing during your free time when you're not involved with acting and music?
Oof, I mean, that's like
That's
most of my
probably
free
all your time, right? Yeah.
time. Yeah, man. I mean, like like if I'm not working on, you know, a character or like writing something, I'm usually like working on music or like writing a
Okay.
song. I watch a lot of movies too. Like I do that, a lot of movie watching in my downtime.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, man. I mean, I used to be like super into video games and stuff, but I had to like cut it off last year just because I was like it was too much, man. I would get so wrapped into it and just like wouldn't
Mhm.
do anything else. Um, but yeah.
I mean, that's what happens when you start playing a video game and you get really into the game. Like you could be playing it for hours and you would only think like a half hour went by, and you look at the clock and it's like 3 hours in, and you're like, oh my God,
Oh
really?
yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I mean, like when I was a kid, my parents had like, you know, time limits.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember being like so mad about it when I was a kid, right? But like now I get it. I'm like, I like needed a time limit because like once, you know, I got out on my own, I was like, I had no time limit. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. Like this story is great. I'm enjoying it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't need to go to the gym. I don't need to like do whatever. This is fine. I got nothing else going on today. I'll just finish the whole story out for the next 6 hours.
Yeah,
So
right. Exactly.
like, and I was like, wow, I'm like not accomplishing anything. So I had to like I had to like cut myself off. It's funny because like I'll still, you know, like I still like will watch trailers and like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll still kind of immerse myself in it because it's also like a good source of inspiration for me. Like I get a lot of like good ideas for certain things, like from just like seeing certain characters and stuff.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I can't play, man. I can't pick it up. I tried like a week ago. I was like, you know what? Let me just play for a little bit. Um, and I couldn't. I was like, you know what? I know I'm gonna go down
I
like a
Yes.
rabbit hole. It's
Yes.
bad. Sometimes like when I go visit at home though, I'll play like some of my old video games. I'm like, I got like the older systems like PS2 and the Xbox
Nice.
360. So I'll play
Nice.
some of the nostalgic games, you know, but yeah, I can't get back into it when I'm when I'm out here, man.
And I always ask guests this when I have them on because I'm a big horror fan. I got my Freddie and Jason shirt
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
Um, what kind of horror movies do you like to watch if you're a
Mm.
fan?
Um, I mean, like I said, man, like I'm a big science fiction guy,
Yeah.
so like I usually flock to those kinds of movies.
Okay.
You know, like Aliens, a classic.
Oh, I love that
Um,
movie.
you know, I think Black Mirror, it's done like a really good
Yeah, yeah,
job
yeah.
of like blending like horror thriller elements with like really, you know, interesting, thought-provoking science fiction. So I really dug Black Mirror when that was coming out. You know, I've got an appreciation for like horror movies very recently, actually, because I used
Oh,
to like,
really?
yeah, I used to be kind of like, whatever, like I don't really get scared, so it's not a big thing. But then I've watched some really good ones recently. Midsommar,
Yes. Yeah.
Hereditary, those were just like just put together well, man. Like that's the thing. Like when it's crafted in a way that just makes you like question things and
Hmm.
like wigs you out for a couple days. That's when you know it's good, man. When I was a kid, I really liked monster movies though, like the old Universal
Oh,
monster
yeah, yeah,
movies, like
yeah.
Frankenstein.
And
I was like a
Dracula
huge,
and all that.
yeah, I was like a huge like Frankenstein, Wolfman
Oh,
like
wow.
kid. Like for some reason I had like an obsession with like monsters for like a good number of years. I was like I couldn't wait for Halloween so I could be like Frankenstein or something. I would get like all the little guys. I was
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Buying
uh,
buying like the toys of them, right?
yeah, I mean I was like a big toy kid, so maybe that had something to do with it. But yeah, for some reason I had like a weird obsession with monsters when I was
Oh,
little.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, do you still dress up yet for Halloween, or like do you go to Halloween parties or anything?
Yeah, man. I try to dress up. I mean, the past couple of years have been weird with like COVID and
Well,
stuff
yeah,
with
of
the parties
course.
and whatnot. But I still try to. I still try to like dress up and the past few years I've gotten really into like being cartoons or like childhood things
Nice.
for Halloween. So like last year, I don't know if this was like a computer game when I was really young, backyard baseball.
I did hear that. Yeah.
Backyard baseball. Yeah, so there was a character from Backyard Baseball that was like super popular. Pablo Sanchez. He was like the best dude in the game, and he was like
Nice.
really short. He had like this backwards hat. He had like
Nice.
a half shirt. And he was like, me and my friends always played that game growing up. So like we always loved picking Pablo Sanchez for our team. So last year I was like, you know, I'm gonna be Pablo Sanchez for Halloween.
Okay, sweet, man. And I see you're in really good shape. So, like, how do you follow any strict
Thanks,
diets?
man. Um, yeah, kind of. I mean, like, I don't know. I played sports growing up. And my dad was really into working out growing up. So like I always kind of saw that and was like, all right,
Okay.
that's like what you do when you become a man. You like start to work out.
Yeah.
And my brother, he played Division 1 hockey. So like he also was super into fitness. So it kind
Okay.
of just like ran in the family. Like once you come of age, you start to like hit the gym heavy. Um, so like, yeah, I started working out also because of like football. I played football when I was 16 and then just kind of continued through there. But at this point, it's I don't know. It's so like it's so routine and regimen to me now that I don't think about it. Like
Yeah.
I eat a lot of like the same foods,
Oh,
um,
great. Okay.
and that helps, I guess, like keep the diet up.
Yeah, exactly.
But I like to cook, so I always like cook my own food, and I always make it like super spicy. Like I'm a big spice guy, so
Oh, I love spice
yeah,
and
man.
hot
Like,
sauce, and oh
oof.
my God,
Yeah,
yes.
like it's bad, man. Like I can't really eat anything now unless it's like spicy. Like in the morning I got like my eggs with my sriracha.
Oh my God,
Lunch,
yes. That's
like,
I put that on the eggs too. Like
oh
even if
yeah,
I
dude,
get
it's the
like an egg and cheese and cheese sandwich, or I
yeah,
have to get the hot sauce and put it on
dude, it's
there.
the best combo.
Oh
You got
my
to do
God,
it.
I love it. I love
It's the
it.
best. Yeah, man. It's like it's an addiction for me at this point now. So like I load my stuff up with like seasonings and the sauces and all that. So like yeah, I have a diet, but it's also like super flavorful. So like I never get like bored of it. Like
Yeah,
I've been eating the
exactly.
same stuff for like years now, but I'm like it tastes fantastic to me. So like whatever. Um, yeah, I got no problem. People are like, you eat the same stuff every day? Or I'm like, yeah, it's good, tastes good. You know?
Well, once you die, once your taste buds die because of all the hot sauce and spices, you don't
Yeah,
even taste the food. Then all you taste is
yeah.
the spice and the hot sauce.
It's basically just like a spoon for the hot sauce, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah,
It's just
exactly.
like it's a palette for the hot sauce to rest on.
And do you have anything coming up, like anything you want to plug or?
I mean, like, yeah, like there's a lot of stuff in the works right now. I got music coming out, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully, I'll be able to announce something really soon.
Okay.
And then I also got my short film byproduct, which hopefully we'll have that wrapped up pretty soon. And um, tune into Villains of Valley View sometime very soon. So there's a lot of stuff on the way, which I'm excited about. But yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And where could fans follow you at?
Tyler James White on Instagram. That's where I do like pretty much all my communication.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for taking time out and coming on the show. It was really fun talking to you. Like I actually wrote down questions to ask you, but we flowed so well that I hardly even looked at the paper.
Oh, cool, man. I mean, if you got any other questions, man, like I'm here, bro. If there's anything else you're curious about, you know. But yeah, man, thank you for having me, bro. I had a good time getting to
Yeah,
hang and chat for a bit, you know.
yeah, definitely, man, definitely. So thanks again for doing this and definitely have a great week.
Thanks, man. Thank you. You too.
Thanks, buddy.